What's going on, you guys? So check it right. Jody just dropped his new EP titled Release Form, and I must say that he truly delivered on this one. Now the EP consists of 7 tracks with features from A. Reese, Ginger Trill, Black Les, and Nyota Parker, with production from Michael Tui, Sick Beat Prince, Sunday Beats, and Rillo Beats. So sonically, everything sounded well orchestrated and cohesive, and I couldn't help but feel that the EP had a very mature sound to it. I'm not sure if I'm making sense by saying that, but it just sounded like it had a grown feel to it, but maybe I'm looking into things too deeply. Now the thing about Jody is that he loves speaking on what he's going through, getting really introspective with his thoughts, and giving us the inner workings of his mindset. And he displayed that on tracks like Hands of Time, where he's speaking on being content where he's at in life, but at the same time he still struggles with the thought of people being against him. And that's the thing about Jody. Despite being in the game for so long whilst being super talented, you still have people trying to discredit him and downplay his skills, all because he's the older brother of A. Reese, and at the same time he's pursuing his career independently, which would leave some individuals in the industry with a sour taste. But despite that, as I said, Jody is in a state of feeling content, and he conveys this with lines like, "I'm fine, you see me, I'm standing in line. I'm patient, I'm not overnight sensation, more like hope for the nation, culture." Now with Bitch I'm Good, which was released last year as a single, Jody still continues with the state of feeling content, as well as speaking about how well he's doing in life, with him talking about getting a new location and having proof of payment. He can drop 2K on brunch, as well as taking back-to-back shots of Julio Blanco just because he's feeling parched. So he's feeling good, man. Now with Rolling Loud in Quiet Places, man, is this a track? Already the title itself, it's already a bar, so you already know Jody and Ginger were coming with immaculate lyricism. And Jody spoke on quite a few things on this record, talking about he's become cold because of how the political structure in the country is, as well as how people operate in the industry. So he's decided to take on the path of independency, even though he might take some L's along the way, but he's building a legacy. He also spoke on still keeping things private, and his mind state is working clever because the time is now or never. He also touched on enjoying life because tomorrow isn't promised, and he's working on a bunch of things and he's willing to get it however. And lastly, he spoke on keeping your emotions in check because it can help you stay relevant. Now he did speak on more things, but for the most part you get the point. Now Ginger, my goodness, did he talk on this record? I mean, I don't think enough credit is given to him for being such a dope lyricist. I mean, he had lines like, "Health is wealth, throwing no beef on my dinner plates. I even sleep woke, they'll never understand me because they don't speak goat. I play with my sons, that's how I give back. I put this razor blade on my tongue, then I get my leg back." So it's definitely a verse that I'll be revisiting just to dissect all the other things he said. But yeah, Trill dropped the verse of the year contender with this one. Now another standout from the EP is Inside Man, and I just found the shit that Jody was speaking on was sort of impactful just because it relates to the current climate of society. I mean, he went on to say, "We filling up venues and filling up voids. How many niggas you know really made it? How many niggas locked up in them cages? How many niggas you know get their light to the streets just to lose it on the side of the pavement? How many niggas you know in your clique that are ready to die or just lie on the statement? How many women you know that are not on the net selling body for payments? Finally, I've learned to take my own advice. If you ain't got solutions, nigga, don't advise. Body every week, we are desensitized. We just want to eat, you see it in our eyes." So definitely some real words from Jody, and he continues to showcase his ability to speak on the social dynamics of society, which I appreciate. I mean, Jody is a breath of fresh air, and hearing him speak on social issues that other rappers don't usually touch on, while he's really setting himself apart from the rest. Now The Love is another standout from the EP, and man, once again, Jody's ability to deliver those gut-wrenching bars is something that never ceases to amaze me. Now despite the record being titled The Love, Jody actually speaks on the lack of love people have, especially in the industry. I mean, he spoke on how artists are disingenuous with their fans because not everything is what it seems to be. He states that the music industry is built around spite, support, and sympathy streams. He also spoke on how everyone nowadays wants to be seen and how you're meant to feel like you're missing out if you're not glued to your screen. When he also said you have broken home babies dissing niggas for being broke, well, that's just a crazy line. And he makes sure to expose the social dynamics of society and reality that most people go through. He also spoke on how mainstream media is trying to sober niggas up for being dope and make them have a clean image just so they're more marketable for a wider audience as well as brands. He also touched on how they're being told that they're too serious to ever go gold, which speaks to how the game and industry wants these artists to make cookie cutter hits and commercialize their sound in order to bring in these big numbers and receive the plaques. But Jody isn't falling for that. He's still going to touch on topics of social issues or his current mind states, regardless of whether he'll go gold or not. Now, he also realizes that some other artists went bold for this game and ended up folding, which had him feeling like real talent is fool's gold, because choosing to have principles is something that rubs other individuals the wrong way, to the point where it's cold shoulders now. So he also spoke on how the Bible wants him to be closer to God and pray for his enemies, but his enemies are preying on him, which is a clever use of words. But yeah, he continues on speaking about how his enemies want to spray him and how these thoughts are scaring him because his workplace is full with disingenuous niggas, bad deals, depression, and jealousy. So you sort of get the picture. Jody is definitely self-aware of his surroundings and definitely knows how the industry works. He continues to shed light and give game to his audience, which I think a lot of artists can learn from. I mean, just like his verse on The Confrontation, this record sort of gives the same feeling, having you question whether the industry is good or not, and maybe the path of independency is not as bad as they try to make it seem. Now it's becoming more apparent with every drop that Jody is more than a rapper. He's a student of the game, an OG with the lessons he speaks on, and just a complete artist. And I can't help but feel like he is truly one of the best in the game right now. But it's just a pity that his talents and ability get overlooked, because best believe if he got the recognition he deserved, some of your favorite artists would never be mentioned in certain conversations. But with that said, Release Form is another solid effort from Jody, and it has me anticipating his debut album Shine O'Clock, which is still dropping this year, so stay tuned for that. But you guys, let me know your thoughts on this. What did you make of Release Form from J. Jody, and which tracks did you have as your standouts? Comment down below. Anyways guys, thanks for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed. Please make sure to hit that like button if you found the content dope, and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. It's on to the next one. Peace.